This is Miss Katie at the Pittston Library. I'm the children's coordinator here, and I'm here this week to celebrate National Library Week with you. It is going on all this week nationally with the American Library Association celebrating, and we are celebrating here at the Pittston Library with lots of fun things. I have some special book displays set up in the kids' room with lots of really cool books about libraries and books that you can come check out. We also have some contests going on and some other fun stuff. So keep an eye on our Facebook this week and also on our and also stop in and see us, and we'll be happy to tell you all about the fun things that are happening this week. The other thing I have too is I have the American Library Association's national report about state of America's libraries for this is information from 2022 that's all been compiled up into this report. This is also on display in the kids' room, so you are welcome to peruse this and look through it here at the library if you're interested at all. It talks about some different statistics and trends that are happening in libraries across the nation. Very interesting report, so feel free to check that out while you're here. But today I'm going to read you a story. This is called Nia and the New Free Library. It is written by Ian Lendler, and it is illustrated, so all the really beautiful pictures that are in this book are illustrated by Mark Pelt. So we're going to read this book. This book is what we call a fiction story. So it didn't really happen, but it is based on a story that did really happen to the author about his small town that he grew up in and the library in his town. So we're going to read this book, and then I'm going to read you the author's note at the end to tell you a little bit about the true story that the book is based on. So, Nia and the New Free Library. For as long as anyone could remember, the little town library stood there. It was there so long that people stopped paying attention. The building got old, the librarian retired, and nobody noticed. Until one day, a tornado came and carried the whole thing away. Whoa. No one quite knew what to do with the empty space where the library used to be. "We need a big skyscraper," said the builder. "That will really put this town on the map." "We need a parking lot," said the grocer. "That would help my business." But Nia had a different idea. "We need to rebuild the library." Now, Nia is right here, this kid, and she's talking in front of a big group of adults. Do you think you would be brave enough to say what you think in front of a big group like that? Something to think about. "Rebuild it," said the mayor. "What's the point? No one uses libraries anymore." "Rebuild it," said the banker. "That costs money, and I can't spare a dime." "Who needs it?" said a distracted mom. "My son and I get everything we want online. I'm on level 10. But Nia loved the library. She went every week to check out books. She liked cookbooks the best. Her favorite spot to read them was under the tree in front of the library. But it's hard to check out a book from a library that isn't there. That's when Nia had an idea. What are your favorite books to check out from the library? She got a desk and a chair and a pencil and some paper and a plate of orange slices for energy. Then she began to write. It took her all day. It took her another whole day, too. From sunup to sundown, it took her a lot of days. And at first, no one paid any attention. But pretty soon, she had written an entire wagon full of books. She didn't have any books, so she wrote her own. "Would you like to check out a book?" she asked the grocer. "How?" he said. "The library is gone." "This is the new free library," said Nia. The grocer was curious, so he picked up the book on top of the pile and began to read. There was an old lady who lived in a shoe. She lived in a shoe, P.U. "Hey," said the grocer, "you wrote this wrong." "I did?" said Nia. "Well, maybe you can fix it." She handed the grocer a pencil, and the grocer started to write. "Excuse me," said the distracted mom. "My son's phone just died. Could he look at one of your books?" "Of course," Nia said. "This is the new free library. He can read any book he likes. This one is about Sir Wilbur, the bravest, most handsome knight around." "This is terrible," said the boy. "I can draw better than that." "You're probably right," said Nia. "Maybe you can fix it." As they made more books, more townspeople became curious and stopped to look. The town's detective saw the crowd forming and came over to see if there was any trouble. She picked up a book. "This was my favorite book growing up. And this book is the reason I fell in love with the sea," said the boat captain. But as they read, everybody noticed mistakes. "Arr," said the book captain, "where the mild things roam? That's not the title." "And that's not how Sherlock solved the crime," said the detective. Every time, Nia simply said, "Oh, well, maybe you can fix it." And she handed them a pencil. Pretty soon, half the town was writing alongside Nia. "What do you think? I've never built a house shoe before. How are the sketches going? I'm at 10 pages already." Everyone discovered the job was a lot harder than it looked. And that's how he solved the crime. "You're wrong. That clue was a red herring." That means it was misleading. It was a false clue. "There was a fish in the story?" "A herring is also a fish." "I'm confused." But they began to remember words and ideas that had inspired them. This is from a poem by Maya Angelou. "Like hopes springing high, still I'll rise." I love poems about bread. Pretty soon, there were enormous piles of freshly written books, books of adventure and poetry, and filled with every idea ever imagined. There were so many books that they spilled into the road and stopped traffic. Said Nia. "If only there was some better way to organize them." "I've got empty crates we could use as shelves," said the grocer. "But if it rains, the books will get wet," said the builder. "I'll make some walls and a roof to protect them." "And we'll need lions," said the banker. "A good library has to have lions in front. I'll get the 2 from my bank." Pretty soon, the entire town was lending a hand. There were people writing and drawing and binding and building and sorting and stacking and slicing oranges for energy. "What we need is an opening ceremony," said the mayor. So the mayor fetched her shiniest ribbon and her biggest scissors and her fanciest outfit, and she was just about to cut to cut the ribbon so the crowd could shout, "Hooray!" when Nia said, "Wait, we forgot one thing." "We did?" said the builder. "We did?" said the banker. "We have a library," said Nia, "but we don't have a librarian." "Oh," the mayor looked around. "Does anyone here want to be the librarian?" Look at all these people who raised their hand. "That should fix it," said Nia. Then the mayor cut the ribbon. The whole town shouted hooray, and the little town's new free library was open. Everyone crowded into the library to admire what they had accomplished. I decided to go with watercolors for a classic feel. There were kids in beanbags reading picture books, kids with pencils writing new books. In one corner, there was a knitting class, and in another, all the grandparents were learning to use a computer. First, we make sure the computer is plugged in. Everywhere, there were people sitting together, enjoying the cozy quiet of a book-filled place. Meanwhile, Nia did what she had wanted to do from the very beginning. She quietly walked straight to her favorite section and checked out her favorite book, How to Make Stone Soup by Nia. And she sat down to read in her favorite spot underneath the library's tree. At least she did. Until the tornado came back and carried the school away. Sigh. Not again. The end. So this is the author's note. So this is to tell us a little bit about the story that this picture book is written about. When I was little, so this is Ian Lendler talking. When I was little, my grandfather told me that he hated the old library in our town. It was too small, too dark, and there wasn't enough room for people to meet. There weren't enough books. He wanted our town to have a library that was open and full of light, where kids could have their own section to make noise, where people could enjoy as many books as they liked. My grandfather was a lawyer, so he got the town to agree to a plan. He got all the permits, and he raised the money to build it. The day of the opening ceremony for the new library, I was the proudest kid in town. There was a big party, and I went around telling everyone that my grandfather had built the library. But then I met the son of the head librarian. He was walking around telling everyone that his mother had picked all the books on the shelves, the art on the walls, and the chairs and tables. He told everyone that his mother had built the library. And then I met the builder's daughter. She told everyone that her dad had built the library. He had poured the cement foundation and laid down all the bricks. And that's when I noticed that every brick on the path that led to the entrance of the library was engraved with the name of a family who had donated time, love, and money to get the job done. And that's when I realized a library is an expression of a town and all the people who live in it. A library is built by many hands. So that was Nia and the new free library. And that is exactly how we feel about our library here at the Pittston Memorial Library. Our library is built with all of you. Our library is a community, and it's not only us librarians who are here making it into the place that it is. And we're really glad that you're all here with us as well. another really good book about libraries that I want to plug. We're not going to read it today, but it is here at the library if you want to check it out. It's called Ron's Big Mission. This is about a real astronaut, Ron McNair, and his childhood experience of a library. So one of the things about libraries and the history of libraries in our country is that there used to be different rules for white people and other people, in particularly Black people, in our libraries. So this is a story about Ron from his childhood and how he was he was a part of getting those rules changed. So this is just like Nia and the New Free Library. This is a fiction story based on something that really happened in Ron's life. So this is a really great book that tells you a little bit about the history of libraries and tells you about a really, really cool astronaut in our history as well. So Ron's Big Mission is also on the shelves if you want to check it out. And if you want to reread Nia and the New Free Library, that's also on our shelves, along with a lot of other really great books. So thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you this week to help us celebrate National Library Week.